Welcome to North Abuse No More, where we're here to help educate you about narcissistic abuse because your feelings do matter. Hi, and welcome to another podcast of North Abuse No More with your host, Dr. and Evangelist, K.O. Rich. Thanks for tuning in today. What is today? Today is September the 18th of 2023. I pray that you've had a blessed, stress-free, narcissistic-free, abuse-free week so far, and that the remainder of this week will continue to be so as well. But if not, we're going to be talking about a few things today. Again, my name is Dr. K.O. Rich for Narc Abuse No More, where we're here to help you admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse because your feelings do matter. Yes, they do. But before we go on with today's podcast, I'd like to invite you to visit us on our website at www.narcabusenomore.org. Again, their website address is www.narcabusenomore.org. And on our website, you'll find valuable information regarding narcissism, relationships, and if you have missed any of these podcasts, all you have to do is go directly to our website and listen to us from there. Now, just to let you know, we are on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central, and that is on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, iTunes, Castbox, and Deezer. We're also on Amazon Audible, Rumble, Brighteon, and the Tube. That's why we're on YouTube. So you have a variety of different platforms that you can listen to us from. But if all else fails, all you have to do is go directly to our website at www.narcabusenomore.org. All right, and also just to let you know, in January we will be introducing and bringing to you a new podcast called Veterans in Christ. It's called Veterans in Christ, and we will be discussing things for us, spirituality, for us the Bible. We're also going to be talking about different things that affects veterans. If you're trying to get disability benefits, if you're going for C&P exams, PTSD, suicide prevention. We're also going to be discussing transitioning out of active duty back into the civilian sector. And we are actually, let me just play you a little bit of what you're going to be hearing at the beginning of the year. That was not what I was going to play. Hold on just a moment. I do apologize for that.
High hold that low. High hold that low. The engines are running, we're ready to roll. The engines are running, we're ready to roll. Kill the enemy, take control. Kill the enemy, take control. So early, so early, so early in the morning. So early, so early, so early in the morning. Abrams on the hill. Abrams on the hill. Tank commanders ready to kill. Tank commanders ready to kill. Give the order, fire well. Give the order, fire well. So early, so early, so early in the morning. So early, so early, so early in the morning. Sniper on the ground. Sniper on the ground. Moving by without a sound. Moving by without a sound. Locks and loads a single round. Locks and loads a single round. So early, so early, so early in the morning. So early, so early, so early in the morning. Apaches in the sky. Apaches in the sky. F-16s go zooming by. F-16s go zooming by. The enemy is about to die. The enemy is about to die. So early, so early, so early in the morning. So early, so early, so early in the morning.
All right, and that is...
Come on over. It was not over. Got a letter in the mail. Got a letter in the mail. Go to war or go to jail.
Okay. Sorry about that. But so we're going to be talking about a lot of different things when it comes to veterans. Also, if there's ever a draft, we know that things are happening so fast, so we're going to talk about what you should know and who would be drafted if there's ever a draft for the military. If you're getting ready to go in the military, we're also going to be talking about boot camp. I was in the Navy, and so I can share some experiences with you, and I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be Veterans in Christ, and that's going to be aired starting January the 2nd, every Tuesday, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central. So I was going to do it in the morning, but you can always listen at the time of your choice. All you have to do is go into the archives. You can program it in the favorites, and this is January. This will start January 2024. So if you are a veteran or you know someone is, or you're interested in just listening for your own information, then please tune in at that time and I will keep you updated. All right, what are we talking about today? We are talking about 12 stages of emotional healing that would help you to move on. 12 stages of emotional healing that will help you move on. And as always, we love to give you a valuable website where we get this information. And today is going to be coming from thinkaloud.net. Thinkaloud.net. 12 stages of emotional healing that will help you to move on. Now, when you're dealing with abuse, when you're dealing with narcissists, when you're dealing with people that do not care anything about your feelings or your well-being or whatever, you will often will have experienced some type of emotional trauma, some type of emotional hurt from that, and it takes time to get over a lot of that emotional pain. And so we're going to talk about some things that you may experience when you're in an emotional state of crisis in your life, and because it takes time to rebuild. Just like love takes time, it also takes time for you to heal from that relationship. Rather it was you were married and you wind up being divorced or separated from that individual, or that person left. If you're in a friendship and that friendship ended because you were friends with a narcissist who really don't know how to be friends really with anybody in the true essence of it. If you were in a work environment and you were dealing with workplace violence. It's so many things that takes place in a person's life where you could have experienced an emotional crisis. It could have been from a parent. We know that there's a lot of parents that are narcissistic towards their children, and so you may have been in an emotional uproar when it came to the family dynamics. But we want to talk about those stages of emotional healing. Not everyone doesn't heal at the same stage, and that's okay. It takes time. We can't set a one size fit all for everyone, but as long as you're taking one step at a time. I love to use the analogy of a baby when comparison when you see a baby doesn't normally come out with you walking. Okay, a baby normally you have to turn them, and they eventually learn how to turn themselves over. Okay, then you're talking about maybe when you put them on their stomach and they'll start doing the rocking when they're getting ready to start crawling. Then they actually start crawling. Okay, so they moving around everywhere. You gotta keep a watch of them. All right, then after that, then they'll start pulling up on things because you're putting them in that I can't remember the walker. Yeah. Okay, the walker. You put them in the walker, and they're strengthening their leg muscles, and then they're moving around, and then eventually they're actually pulling up themselves, and then they'll start taking steps. So the same way with the baby is the same way with your healing. All right, your emotional healing. It takes time. It takes steps. You may heal in stages, but don't give up. That's the main thing. Is don't give up, and don't allow someone to press you and say, "Oh, you should be over it by now." If you think that I'm having difficulty with trying to heal from this abuse or whatever the situation is, whatever kind of trauma that you may have experienced emotionally, physically, or whatever, then guess what? You could talk to a therapist. There's nothing wrong with talking to someone, and you don't have to tell people if you're embarrassed about telling someone, which is you shouldn't be. But if you're embarrassed about telling someone, hey, you know what, I'm going to therapy, then guess what? You do not have to tell anyone anything, all right? Especially when we talk about the narcissist. As always, I love to read you your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of the narcissist, all right? So you do not have to divulge all your information to people that you do not want to or can't trust for that matter. So let's start with the stages of emotional healing so you can understand your personal experience and what you may be going through, what you may be feeling, and knowing, okay, this is not just me, this is normal, and I'm going to be okay. Number one, denial. A lot of times when you're going through emotional healing, you can also be at the stage of denial where you're saying, no, someone asks you, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm fine," or whatever. And you're in denial and I'm not talking about just keeping people out your business. What I'm saying is that you're saying you're in denial because you're like, wow, this couldn't have been me. This couldn't have happened to me. How did this happen to me? And even if you know you didn't do something wrong, the actual cause of the emotions you're experiencing could have you in a place of denial where you're feeling a little confused, bewildered, or whatever the case may be. And that's part of the healing process. We also know that's part of the grieving process where we often talk about the 5 stages of grief. Number 2 is grief, okay? So you may be experiencing pain about that loss. You may be experiencing pain about the situation or that relationship that you thought was going to be forever and it wasn't. You may be hurt and grieving over that divorce, over that breakup, over leaving that individual, over leaving a job, or whatever the case may be. It could be separating from family. Some people have some toxic family where they can't even be around them. And so you may be grieving that stage. And no matter how much you try to rationalize it, when you be honest with yourself, you were actually being destroyed in that relationship. You lost someone that you felt was extremely important to you. But the thing with the narcissist, whereas you're their option, you made them a priority, and so therefore you feeling a drawback from that. You might be experiencing sadness or anger, or you might be mixed up in your emotions. One day you're up, the next day you're down. So it is so important to really understand what you're going through, because getting in touch with your feelings will help you on your road to recovery. Number 3, another thing that we often experience when you're talking about for is emotional healing is anger. You're angry. You might be mad at that person, mad at the situation. You may even be angry at yourself. You're saying, well, why? How did this happen? Or even blaming yourself in the anger because you're feeling like, you know what, it's my fault that the relationship did not work, and you have all these mixed emotions. And let me just say this, it takes 2 people to make a relationship work. You can't make it work by yourself. No matter how much you love the person, no matter how much you care for that individual, you can't make a relationship work by yourself. So you might be experiencing this anger, and it's okay to talk about it. You want to direct it in a healthy manner to not do anything destructive or anything to yourself or anyone, but it is good to talk about it. Number 4, confrontation. You want to confront the person that you're angry with, the person that caused you so much pain and suffering. You sometimes you may even want to go back to that person, even though you know that person is not good for you, or you're listening to them saying, "Oh, I'm gonna change, and you know that you've done this 100 times over, and it's still more of the same. And so let me just say this: when you're if even if you're thinking about confronting a narcissist, do know that when you're confronting them about anything, they will never hardly receive it. Narcissists do not like to view themselves as damaged goods or as someone who needs help. And there was a meme that was on social media the other day that said most of the therapists are getting patients from people who have been hurt by other people who need to be in therapy, and which is true. Hurt people hurt people. Number 5, bargaining. In the bargaining stage, you're putting yourself in a situation that you're ready to negotiate for your wellness. So you might try to get that person back to end the pain, saying, okay, maybe if I try again, maybe if I go back to them, then you know what, I'll be okay. The pain will stop. I'm ready to forgive you if we go to therapy. I'll never hurt you again, or please just come back, or whatever. And this is the part where they'll promise you the world, but then you go back into the situation only to get more again. So you might have the abuser saying, oh, I'm going to change, I'm going to stop, oh, it's never going to happen again, I didn't mean to hit you, I didn't mean to hurt you, I didn't mean to cheat on you, it didn't mean nothing to me, and all these different things. And you find yourself being in pain again. So this is something to be careful about when you get to bargaining and rationalizing what happened, thinking that if you put yourself back into that situation that you're going to get better, that things are going to change. Number 6, you may go through depression. This means that you haven't gone back to that person, but you're still continuing to hurt. And you're still experiencing grief and sadness. And this is normal. This is normal to sometimes, still be hurting about that individual. You might be thinking about some things, some good things, some bad things about the relationship or whatever, and then it puts you back into a depressed state. Your self-esteem has suffered. You have been traumatized emotionally. And so therefore, when you reflect on those things, it could bring about depression. And let me just say this, if you are experiencing depression, it's so important to try to talk to someone, even if that means going to a counselor and seeking therapy so that you can get the help that you need. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in just a moment.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. Yeah. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. Yolanda, won't you sing the song?
See, I was on the verge of breaking down. got to start inside of me. Oh, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, then there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. 'Cause I believe in me. Oh, if I can see it, I can do it. I just believe there's nothing I can do. I believe I can fly.
Said I'm running, said I'm together we can do it. Whatever you wanna do, take my hand. I'm made up my mind. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. Anything I wanna do. Anything I wanna do. Anything I wanna do. Anything I wanna do. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Anything I wanna do. Anything I wanna do. Anything I wanna do. Anything I wanna do.
And that is I Can Fly by Yolanda Adams and the late Gerald Levert. And you can fly. You can do anything. You know, the thing is, as a Christian, the Bible lets us know that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. Come on now. So you are not alone. The word of God lets us know that he will never leave us nor forsake us. All we have to do is draw close to him, and he draws close to us. Number 7, regulation. Regulation. A lot of people talk about the regulation stage, but when you're trying to get out of that depressive state, you need to regulate. You want to regulate your emotions. Your emotions can be up and down, up and down. So some things that you can do to help your emotions. If you feel like, okay, I'm in the depressed state, 1 minute I'm happy, the next minute I'm sad, go join a gym, go work out, take a walk in the park, decorate, do something that brings you joy. If you like to paint, if you like baking or doing something, do some relaxation, journal. There's so many things to do that if you, whatever it is that you find peace, if you have a hobby, you might like gardening, you may like playing the piano, whatever it is that takes you to a happy state, then and I'm not talking about no drugs. I mean, let me let me clarify that. We're not talking about drugs that's gonna add on, compound the problem, okay? So let me talk about that. Those things that are legal and those things that are beneficial that will help you in the positive sense, not add on to what you're already dealing with. Number 8, reflection. Reflection. One of the stages of emotional healing, and it's important, is to reflect. And this is not in the sense of thinking about that individual or that situation in a sense of so you won't be depressed, but reflect on where you see your life going from here, and you might again get involved in some activities that you may have been interested in before. So instead of overthinking things, make a mental list of things that happen or you do to express your emotions, and therefore sometimes people put their emotions in their art. Sometimes people put their emotions in singing. Some people dancing, and whatever they're feeling, they put into the dance. There are a lot of songs that we listen to where someone is telling about their feelings at that particular time. And so whatever it is, put it into your writing. You might want to write a book about what you're feeling, or just simply journal. Some people blog. You could start a blog and just talk about your life, and you'll be surprised at how many people can relate. Another thing, number 9, that you may experience on this emotional journey is emptiness. Emptiness. You may feel like that. I used to, be around this person. I used to feel like I was somebody, but then you have to ask yourself the question: did that person really make you feel good about yourself? And if they didn't, and obviously they didn't, if you experienced emotional trauma, then that emptiness may be of what you wanted to have. So this is at the point where you're very vulnerable. Be careful about jumping into another relationship. So many people are jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, and they're not giving themselves time to heal from the previous one before they jump into another one, and then they wind up being unhappy. They got a different person, but the same traits in a different body. Number 10 is acceptance. The acceptance stage can take weeks, it can take months, it can even take years. But this is when you finally realize that you have to accept your past, that you're accepting it. There was nothing you could do to change it. You look at your situation as, that was something that I experienced. I'm not in that chapter no more. I'm not in that season no more. I've moved on. And don't allow people to even bring to you things that you may have been dealing with at that time. If they want to tell you, oh, well, this person is doing this and they're doing this. And one of the things that you will normally hear from somebody is that person that you may have been emotionally traumatized by. Well, you will normally hear that, oh, they got married and they're doing this and they got kids and all this kind of stuff. And bravo, good for them. But that's not your story. That was not your story. And don't even question yourself, because you might be tempted to question, why is it that they got married to that individual and they treating that person right, but then they didn't treat me right? Who says they are? Who says it will last? Who says it will continue? But the thing is, that's no longer your issue. That's no longer your issue. So you are at the state of the acceptance where you are able to accept what happened and then be able to move on without it affecting your life. All right, we're going to take another quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
Count on me through thick and thin, a friendship that will never end. When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry on. Call on me, I will be there. Don't be afraid. Please believe me when I say, count on. I can see it's hurting you. I can feel your pain. It's hard to see the sunshine through the rain. Oh, I know sometimes it seems as if it's never gonna end, but you'll get through it. Just don't give in, 'cause you can. When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry on. Call me, I will be there. Don't be afraid. Please believe me when I say, count on. You can count on me. Oh, yes, you can. I know sometimes it seems as if we're standing all alone, but we'll get through it, 'cause love won't let us fall. I'll be there, friendship that will never end. You are weak, I'm strong, helping you on. Call on me, I will be there. Don't be afraid. Please believe me when I say, count on. There's a place inside of all of us where our faith and love begins. You should reach to find the truth and love. The answer's there within. Oh, that life can make you feel it's much harder than it really is. But we'll get through. We'll get through it. Just don't give in. Count on me. It'll never end. I'll be strong. Call on me. I will be there. I'll be there. Don't be afraid now. Please believe me when I say, count on, count on, count on me. Oh, yes, you can. No, I can. Sure can. Yeah. So glad I can.
Count on Me, and that is by Whitney Houston and CeCe Winans. And you know what? When you are going through emotional trauma, you have been through it, you need someone that you can count on. You have a good friend, someone that you can trust, someone that you can rely on. Well, I'm here to tell you today, if you say that, no, I don't have anyone, you know what? You have one. That's Jesus. That friend is Jesus, who sticketh closer than a brother. Come on now. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. He'll never let you down. After you've done the acceptance and on that emotional journey, the number 11 is forgiveness. Oh yes, people, they cringe at the word forgiveness, but let me just tell you, when you forgive that person that has emotionally abused you, and this is not giving an endorsement that, oh, it was okay. No, it's not. No, it's not okay. But what you're saying is, I'm releasing you. I'm putting you in the hands of God. I'm releasing you because guess what? I do not want to carry the emotional baggage of unforgiveness in my heart. If I am not forgiving of others, it's going to keep me down where I will not be able to excel. Therefore, we know that forgiveness is part of that healing process. Letting go of the grudges, letting go of the bitterness, letting go of the anger, letting go of the hurt, letting go of the resentment, letting go of the vindictiveness and the vengefulness. Let it go. That person is not worth it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to, whatever God has for you. You can't thrive in that unless you learn to let go. You know that saying, let go, let God. You have to let it go. It doesn't mean it's okay. Some people are like, well, how can I get revenge on the narcissist? Well, the best revenge is not to try to get revenge. Come on now. The best revenge is to say, you know what? I wish that person well, but I got to move on with my life. Because if you keep going back, you keep looking back, you're going to turn into a pillar of salt like Lot's wife did. You're not going to progress. You're not going to move forward. You're going to stay. That salt can go anywhere, but just be blown into the wind. You're not going to excel. Know that you deserve better. Last but not least, transformation. Transformation. You'll transform all of your painful experiences, emotions into something new. Like, what do you mean by that? A lot of times people take what was once painful to them and they turn it into something positive. Those that have been through, for example, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. It was a painful experience that they went through with losing whoever their children to drunk driving, whether their child was the one that was drunk or the one that was hit by a drunkard. Okay, so then they turned it into something positive. Those that have gotten cancer, you have the cancer awareness and all that. They turned that diagnosis into something positive. While I'm going to help somebody else. I believe I can't think of the name of the organization right now, but I believe it was two friends where they had someone in a friend that had gotten cancer, and so I believe they started a foundation for that. A lot of foundations have been started based upon what someone has gone through. Turn it into something positive. Maybe you can talk to someone, mentor someone, help them once you are healed. Help them to know, what, this is where I messed up. Let me help you. And so that you would not follow on the same path. All right, we are up out of here. And before we go, I do want to give you all the information to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and that is www.thehotline.org, www.thehotline.org. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. TTY call is 1-800-787-3224. You can also text the word START to 88788. Text the word START to 88788. This is Dr. K.O. Rich with Dark Abuse No More, helping you to admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse. Until next time.